Resolve takes a little while to load up, as you'll see, but when it does load up, the first thing you get is a catalogue of any previous work. If you're starting a new project, then the first thing to do is click on New Project, and when you do that you've got the opportunity to name the project. It's worth doing this because it will now remember any project work you do. What you see here is sort of the basic starting point for Resolve, but the first thing you need to do is go to this little cog in the extreme right hand corner and make sure the settings are right. So you need to set the timeline resolution and also the timeline frame rate, and in this case I want it to be 30 frames per second. There are many other things that you can set up for the project, but in the first instance just make sure that it is the right frame size and the right frame rate, and say yes. Okay, we're going to create a timeline now which is the correct size and the correct frame rate, and we're going to use one of the tabs on the bottom here. These different tabs allow you different functions within Resolve, but the first one we want is to be able to get media into the tab. So we hit the Media tab and you should see a list of your folders or your drives and so on. If you don't, there's an option to add a folder, so you can add a drive or you can add just simply a folder to this so that it recognizes it. Once we've got this, we can then search through as you would with Explorer or something similar to find the folder you want of your video clips. And in this case I'm going to go for one which I've recorded on the Olympus. You see here a number of clips, and one of the things that is quite useful is that as you scroll left and right, just take the pointer left and right across the little clip of it, it does actually play the clip in that little thumbnail. So we'll use this clip as our demonstration. So I grab hold of this and drop it onto the bottom area, and the first thing it may well say is, do you want to change the project frame rate? Well, we've decided we definitely want 30 frames per second, so in this case we definitely don't want to change the frame rate, so we click on Don't Change. Now we need to do some work on this, and we need to bring it and edit it in some way. So I'm going to take that clip and edit it. So I click on the Edit tab at the bottom, and now I need to get that clip actually into the editor. So I've clicked on Media Pool, here's the clip, and I'm going to take that clip and again drag and just drop it onto the timeline, and you can see the video and the audio tracks there. Obviously we could do all sorts of editing on here, but I'm not going to address that in this particular little bit of instruction. So the next thing I need to be able to do is, once I've done some editing or colorizing or grading, whatever, I need to be able to save it. And this is the Delivery tab, and I've clicked on the Delivery tab, and you can see again the thing has changed. The Delivery tab allows you to take all that you've done in the edit and you can output it, and there are a number of presets you can use, but I'm going to stick with custom. First thing we need to do is decide where you're going to locate it. I'm just going to leave it in this particular folder here, but I am going to give it a file name which is typed in there, and when I save that you'll notice that it's got both the file name and the location of that file. I've got all sorts of options to change the format of the way I export the video. In this case it says QuickTime, but and that would be ideal for a Mac, but I'm going to change it to MP4. In fact, PTE will accept either. If you want to change the codec, there's options to do that. You'll notice that we've now got the right file name, so we know where it's going to save it. We know what video format it's going to save it in, what resolution, what frame rate, and the quality is set to best. I would suggest you do that for clips going into PTE. And then we add it to the render queue. The render queue is basically there so that if you are rendering something massive like a Hollywood movie, you can sort of put it in the queue and then do something later. And there's the queue up here. You can see where it's put this in as a job. I'm going to just render it now, and you'll see it go through, and it'll give you an indication of how long that's rendered in real time. And we've now created our video out. Make sure you save it. Usual thing, just make sure you save the folder. So that has saved our project, and we can go back to that at a later stage.